Hey guys, Shubby Forever here. Welcome back to my channel. So this is my first video of the year, almost February. I know I'm trash. I know this. I actually filmed this video pretty early in the year. The first time, this is my second time trying to do this video. The first time I just had a lot of audio issues and I just went back and forth for a long time trying to figure out if I wanted to refilm it again or not, because the first video captured like my raw emotions, and this topic that I'm about to talk with you guys about is not easy for me to talk about. It's actually my biggest insecurity and vulnerability, and like something that I just don't like talking about, but I need to so that I can change. And I just wanted to start off the year with some transparency with you guys. I don't open up to you guys that much just because I don't have a large audience, and a lot of times people just don't seem to be interested. I don't know, maybe you guys do want me to open up more. If you do, I can, but it just doesn't seem like my audience is really interested in that type of stuff. But today I am gonna open up, and I'm doing this video mostly for myself more than anything, because I need an intervention. So yeah, so today I'm going to talk with you guys about, okay, I can do this. I did it before, I'm do it again. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how and why I gained nearly 300 pounds. And I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible and do as little editing to it as possible. So just bear with me on this video. But yeah, that is why this video is so hard. It's because I'm talking about my weight. So I'm hoping that this time next year I can look back at this video and be like, you know, thank you God, I've made so much progress, I've lost so much weight, and I'm a healthier version of myself. Because if not, I'm headed down a path of death. Yeah, so where do I start? Basically, growing up, I was an average build. I was more on the athletic side because I was always in some type of physical activity. Most of my life I was in martial arts. I never had any like body image issues that were super major. I have talked about them in the past on my channel in a very old video. I will link that down below. But other than that, I didn't really have any issues. I could go into stores like Forever 21, Charlotte Russe, Zara, H&M, and go in knowing that I could guaranteed walk out with an outfit because it would fit me. And that's like a luxury I don't have right now. Yeah, so I eventually, once I became an adult, I stopped doing martial arts and I started to gain a little bit of weight, but I didn't really care. It's like, oh, who cares? You know, it wasn't enough to, again, affect the way I viewed my body and my body image and my self-esteem or anything like that. I would still get compliments on how great I look, whatever. Basically the year 2013 is when things started to take a turn for the worse. So this year was a very hard year for me, and the years since then have been a downward spiral. Basically, I moved away from home for the very first time. I moved out of state. My grandfather was dying of stage 4 lung cancer. I was trying to write my poetry book, and I kept getting rejected by several dozens and dozens of publishers who basically told me that I wasn't shit. I was at a very toxic job in a very, very, very broken environment. Everybody around me was so broken. It's crazy. And typically my coping mechanisms would be you know, hanging out with my friends and family, going to church, praying, having quiet time with God, writing poetry to kind of like ease my pain or whatnot. But at that time, because I was away from all of those things, I wasn't able to do that. And I had to work every Sunday. It was not an option. So I had no ability to go to church or anything like that. So I became very broken, just like the environment I was around. Now, I did have 2 friends with me, Shy and Jalen, and we were like 3 peas in a pot. I don't know how I would have gotten through this like experience without them. with me. But basically, I won't speak for them because they're not here to speak for themselves. But I'll say that the three of us, pretty much to deal with the stressors of the very broken, hard, toxic environment that we were in, we would pretty much blow our money on clothes or food. So we all went there to go save up money for the summer and spent majority of it. Or I don't know about what they did, but I spent all of mine on food pretty much, because it became my new way of like coping. Like, oh, I just got rejected from a publisher, let me go out to eat and get my mind off of it. Or, oh, I had a really shitty day at work, my supervisor was talking trash to me, let me go out to eat and deal with it. Oh, I need to get 3 more poems done for my book, but I'm in a brain freeze, like, let me go out to eat. So we always, I kid you not, nearly every day we went out to eat. And we were there for, I think I was there for a little under 2 months. So to go out that often is not normal. When I came back home, I was broke and 30 pounds heavier. So my mom politely and lovingly brought it to my attention, like, hey girl, you went down there to save up money and you came back broke and, you know, a little bit thicker. And so I was like, oh shoot, you're right, mom. So then I was like, okay, I need to get myself together. So basically on my winter break from school that year, which was a couple months later, I had actually lost half of the weight. I'd lost about 15 pounds. I went hard on the paint. I was meal prepping. I was drinking tons of water. I was working out for 2 hours a day. I was serious. And so because of doing that, I lost half the weight. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty good. I can chill out a little bit now. Well, as a result of like eating whenever life happened, I developed the habit of becoming an emotional eater. So, and I'm a very emotional person. It's annoying sometimes, but I basically trained myself to eat my problems away. And even when I was happy, like, oh, let's celebrate by going out to dinner. So I went through this vicious cycle of eating my problems and becoming sad because, I'm gaining weight. And I don't know at what point that I felt like the hopelessness, but basically it became a vicious cycle of, oh, my life is falling apart. I guess because my life just wasn't going the way that I thought it would go. They say that your 20s and your like college years are some of your hardest years in life because you're trying to figure out what the fuck you're gonna do with your life. You know, I was no longer a full-time student at this point. I was depressed about that. And other areas of my life, I just was not where I thought I would be at that point in life. So these things caused me to eat as well. And then on top of that, being depressed because I know I'm gaining weight and I know I'm an emotional eater, but I don't know how to stop myself and I feel sorry for myself. So I keep eating and then I just become more depressed because I know I'm doing this to myself. And the vicious cycle just continued and continued and continued. And it got to the point where I'm like, oh, I can't fit in Forever 21 clothes anymore, not even the plus size. Okay, I have to shop at stores like Lane Bryant or Ashley Stewart, which is nothing wrong with those stores, but they're very expensive in comparison to like Forever 21. So if you can't afford it, you basically kind of just have to wear more basic clothes. So I went from wearing like very fashionista type clothes to very, in my opinion, kind of basic clothes that I otherwise wouldn't wear. Then it got to the point where it's like, oh, okay, I'm starting to notice my feet are swelling up. I'm starting to notice I have a hard time breathing. I'm starting to notice that in my videos, I have to edit out my breaths every 20-30 seconds and all I'm doing is sitting down talking. I'm starting to notice a sign of prediabetes on the back of my neck. I'm starting to physically feel the pain of carrying all this weight. I'm starting to notice that, oh, I'm starting to be too big to fit into even the plus size stores. And I'm not gonna cry. I can't because I'm doing a foundation video. But you know, to go from around 170, 180 pounds to well over 300 in less than 5 years is pretty devastating. I definitely have tried as much as I can to hide it from you guys, just because, not because like, basically because I'm ashamed. Yeah, like when you guys request me to do like lookbook videos and things like that, I just don't do them, or I try really hard. I'll film a whole lookbook. I've done this in the past, filmed entire lookbooks and then just break down crying because I'm like, God, I'm so fucking fat, you know? And that's not good, you know? It has caused me some of the most devastating depression in my entire life. This time last year, I felt so hopeless. And this is not just because of weight loss, but this time last year, I was so depressed and so hopeless for myself, because you start to gain all this weight and then you feel like you can't change and you will never see yourself being healthy again. Because I would, throughout these years, I would definitely try multiple, probably at least 15-20 times to lose weight, and I would do the meal prepping, go to the gym, drink the water, but after about a month I would burn out because it was just too much for me, and then I would give up and go back to the eating and then be depressed all over again. That really depressed me. It made me feel like a hopeless failure. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna die of obesity. I'm gonna be like the people on like my 600-pound life, and I'm just going to die. And I've had a family member die in a similar manner. I'm sorry. This time last year, I was the closest I had ever been to committing suicide. I was so incredibly close. And I even went on the hotline and the website to try to stop myself. And it didn't even help. It didn't even affect me in the slightest, which is really scary. It didn't affect me in the slightest bit. And honestly, the only thing that at that time that had stopped me was, of course, like my family and friends, but also more so what was waiting for me in the afterlife. That is what scared me. And it's crazy to even talk about this with you guys. But I was just imagine being so hopeless that you just want to die. I was that close. But thankfully, by the grace of God, that did not happen. And today I could say that I don't think I would ever go through with the act. So needless to say, or why did I get into all that? Because I want to now talk about like what has changed and what I'm going to do to change this vicious cycle. So in October, my birth month, my mom ordered a bunch of cookbooks for this specific diet called keto. And I know some people are probably rolling their eyes and be like, okay, really, bitch? Like, I know people who do know about keto, they either like it or they don't. If you don't like it, that's fine. But ketogenic diet is basically, instead of using carbs for fuel, your body uses fat for fuel. So basically, my mother got a bunch of keto cookbooks, and this was something that I looked into in the past, like maybe 2 years prior, and I had decided that it would never be for me because I'm like, I can't give up bread. Like, you got me fucked up. No. But she was like, Tasha, please, just like, please, just give it a thought, you know, be a little bit more open-minded. And I was extremely reluctant, extremely like, no, mom, I'm good, love, enjoy. But one day, actually on my actual birthday, I was like, you know what, let me read this cookbook. The cookbook is called Simply Keto or Perfect Keto by Suzanne. I'll find a picture of it and put it in. But basically what changed my mind just in one read of this cookbook was basically hearing Suzanne's testimony, or not hearing it, but reading it. She went through the same thing as me, struggled with weight for a large portion of her life, and talked about like why other diets didn't work for her. And this is what I didn't realize. When you have a more carb filled diet and you're struggling with like obesity or morbid obesity, a lot of times you feel hungry even when you've had enough to eat. And that was something that I struggled with, and I realized that every time that I burned out, it was because I always felt hungry still. And I kid you not, I'm a Christian, so I believe in spiritual warfare, and I was thinking the devil was playing tricks on me. I'm like, the devil's trying to tell me that I'm hungry when I know I'm not. Like, I would eat a humongous salad, 5 minutes later be hungry AF. I'm just like, what the heck, man? The devil, I rebuke you. And I would just think it was in my mind, you guys. I'm like, no, there's no way. But I really was hungry. And that might sound crazy hearing me say it like that, but I was thinking I was going crazy every single time. And I never thought to look it up. But that's actually a normal thing that happens. Your body is hungry because it's addicted to sugar. And you're depleting the sugar by dieting. So your body tells you you're hungry because it wants that sugar. So it thinks that if it tells you you're hungry all the time, even when you're not, you'll eventually give it sugar, which it works because you eventually burn out and you can't do it anymore. But she said in her book something along the lines of basically why keto works is because you don't have that, oh, I'm super hungry feeling. So man, that was like mind blowing for me. I was like, I know that I have the ability to do this. I know I can meal prep. I know I can cook. I know that at least for a month I have a little bit of discipline in me. So I could try this, especially if it means I'm not going to be hungry all the time like when I traditionally diet. So I was like, you know what? Let me research this some more. So I did about 2 months worth of research, you guys, like extensive research, everything you could think of. I questioned everything, and I decided, you know what, after Christmas and Thanksgiving, for the new year, I'm going to start the ketogenic lifestyle. So that is what I have done. So I'm so happy because my mindset is so much stronger now. I also realized there's a girl on Instagram and YouTube. Her name is Janelle. I'm gonna link her stuff down below too. Basically, watching her transformation has just been really inspiring to me. And she talked about how she leaned on God. And I'm speaking for myself. As a Christian woman, I realized in the past that I never really relied on God and leaned on God for strength to continue in my health and fitness journey when I was weak and when I was not adequate enough to do it. So she lost 100 pounds in a year. I could stand to lose that and some in a year, dead ass. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pray over these next 2 months that God will prepare my mind, body, soul, and spirit. And please, God, let this keto lifestyle work for me. So I've been praying for a stronger mindset. I've been praying for stronger will. I've been praying for a spirit of discipline. I've been praying not to feel hungry. I have been praying to resist temptation. And you guys, I'm about to start week 3. I think that I'm not 100% sure. I'll put in a little note, but I believe so far I have lost 20 pounds. And let me tell you, the first 2 weeks was not easy. I used to drink juice and pop like it ran out of the faucet, and I thought that was normal. But now I don't drink any juice or any pop. As a matter of fact, got my water here. You guys, I am praying to God that I stick with this, and to hold myself accountable. What I want to do is start uploading some health related videos on this channel. I know a couple years ago I started a whole other health and fitness channel. As you can see, that didn't go well because my mind was not ready for this journey. But I have been more ready now than I have ever been in my life, because I literally will die if I don't change. I've already, just in the 2 weeks I've been doing it, have seen such physical changes in myself. I'm shook. I'm just so happy and so thankful that God did not give up on me when I gave up on myself, and has given me the ability to still fight this battle and win. So yeah, I'm gonna be sharing so much with you guys about my journey, and I hope that that is okay with you guys, because I'm gonna do it whether you want to see it or not. Because if for nothing else, I just want to see my progress and my transformation over the next year, because my goal is to lose 70 to 100 pounds this year. So we'll see if it happens. But I just wanted to share with you guys like my biggest vulnerability and insecurity and what I'm doing in 2019 to change it in the new year. I proclaimed boldly that 2019 is the year of self-love, self-reflection, self-growth, self-esteem, self-improvement. This is the year of self, and I am working on myself in more ways than one, with my health and fitness being one of my number ones, because I really do want to live a healthy lifestyle. So okay, it's so funny because I thought this was going to be shorter than my last video. This is damn near the same ass amount. I guess I just had a lot to get off my chest, but I really appreciate you guys, especially all of you who watched it to the end. Like, thank you so much. And I hope that you will stick around and see this transformation that is about to commence. It has to, now that I've put this out there for you to see. But yeah, thank you again, you guys, so much. And I will see you very soon in a beauty related video or lifestyle or keto lifestyle. Okay guys, thank you. Bye.